don't get hollow noise.
Outstanding. And with the
So we don't get
with the joining of a few more commissioners, we'll go ahead and call the meeting for December 21st, 2020 meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission of the City of Lynchburg. We'll call the meeting to order. The first item, we would like to welcome Tracy Langseth, who is our newest commissioner to the board. So welcome. We're glad to have you on with us.
Hey, Phil.
Glad to be here.
Showing
Excellent.
my screen?
Let's see. So we can real quickly just hop right on into our items on the agenda. The first item is the consent agenda from the November 16th meeting. That can be approved with just a motion and a vote.
Is it messing you up?
I just need to know if they're seeing what I'm trying to say.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Are you trying to have the
Victoria, if you would
minutes up?
note that is approved unanimously. We can jump right into new business, and we have a few action items to take care of. So when we call the address for the property in question, if a representative would speak up, state your name and your address of residence for the record, and then you may please give us a rundown of what the certificate of appropriateness is regarding, and then we will open for discussion. So the first item that we have is 1501 Church Street.
That's me, Alex Richardson.
Okay, that's fine, I guess.
Excellent. And that's also your residence address?
Yes, yes it is.
All right. Feel free to go ahead and walk us through your COA.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is I have a plan over the next 12 to 14 months as part of my COVID project. I've been working on this house. So I purchased the house back in March, and it's going to be my primary residence. So my son and I are doing the work, and as well as my partner, who is Tony West. I've been his partner for 11 years, and I've helped design a lot of different lofts downtown. I currently own RA Bistro, and it's so close to work that I figured I was going to start the work on this project. So there's been some, I was interested in purchasing this house back about 5 years ago, and when it came up and Larry and I worked out a negotiation, I bought it in March, and it needs a lot of different work in terms of restoration, and I want to start it in stages, but I'm going to finish it all up within the next year to year and a half tops.
Thanks, Phil.
In terms of what I would like to do, I want to propose replacing the front steps and deck, as well as a deck on the back porch, replacing the roof and repairing some parts of it, and then replacing and repairing some of the windows on the outside, as well as on the back wood siding. The majority of the house is brick and stone, but the back addition of the house is wood, and the majority of the siding is rotten. And I would like to replace that, as well as the damaged windows. And then for future, I would like to add a garage carriage house to the left of the house, so that way I can have a parking area that's not adjacent to just the street, or that's a part of VDOT parking, which is directly in front of the parking where we have. So anytime they're doing any kind of snow removal, ice removal, any kind of road, they kind of fill in this, and they park in this spot right here at the house.
Very good. Commissioners, anyone want to make a motion or have questions to start?
I've got a question. You've got on here for number 6, you've got the wood siding to be replaced with cementitious siding to match the same siding exposure. And you show that on the front of the house. So is the base of the front of the house stone, or is that wood right now?
you can, in terms of the front of the house, that would actually be the back of the house.
Oh,
That's the back of the
I'm
house.
sorry.
So
Okay.
the bump out of the house itself is a mixture of both block and then wood siding. And the wood siding is resting on the block, so it's a bump out of the original house. I'm not sure exactly when that part of the structure was built, but obviously it was an addition within the last 50 to 70 years, as opposed to the first 150 years of the house.
No, actually, I am looking at the front elevation, number 8.
Oh, okay. So
And it says number 6 at the bottom there.
That's
It just has two
a mistake, Rick. That note should not be there. I'm sorry. But that should be located on for the rear of the house only.
Okay. Of course, the guidelines permit it on sides and rear of houses, but should be aware that this house, you can see it all the way around. So just a note. And the windows, which windows are we replacing?
the windows on the rear of the house of the bump out, where the wood, obviously there was some fire damage on the internal, and a lot of the internal and the external are very rotten. So there's both age, weather, and fire damage within the inside of the house and of the window structures and the siding structures. So by replacing some of that siding and those wooden windows on the back, more so than the fronts. The fronts are easier repairable with the masonry, but since I'm replacing the siding, and I would like to go ahead and replace those windows because of the draft and the exposure to the wind.
Are these original windows to the house that are there now?
Yes, sir. There's two of them that are not. So one, let me rephrase that. On the back part of the house, there's repair that I'm assuming either the previous owner did or someone has done where they're not original windows. The four that I want to replace are the original part of the windows. However, I would look to replace them with better windows than they replaced the other ones with.
Say that last part again. You're looking to replace.
I would replace the windows that I want to replace with like windows that match both the profile and the look of that window. Whereas the other two windows that have been replaced previously are actually vinyl or metal windows.
Are the windows not repairable, the original windows?
Two of them are repairable in my opinion, and two of them are not. They are weather damaged to the point where the glass and all of the interior is held together by paint more than anything else.
Okay.
There's a lot of wood rot.
And the roof, condition of the roof?
The condition of the roof, originally I was just going to repaint it and resurface it, but I had all-phase roofing come out and look at the parts that need to be repaired, which is the flat part of the roof and in by the chimney. So there's about 3 or 4 parts of the roof that are in desperate need of repair because of the way that they've rusted underneath the paint. And as he is looking at all of the different the way the paint's bubbled over the years, they have painted over and over and over damaged parts of the roof. And because we are currently changing some of the other roofs out in different locations throughout town, he suggested that from a price standpoint, it would be better to replace it with a like roof than to try and repair each spot that's there. And I would replace it with a metal seamed roof that matched the same. It wouldn't match the color, it's green. I'd prefer to make it either a darker color than the green color that it is. That would be the only major difference in terms of appearance.
Who's your roofer? Do you have
It would be all-phase roofing.
who? All phase?
Yes.
Robbie Campbell?
Bobby Campbell, that is correct.
Okay, well, he knows what to do with the correct roof for the historic houses. I mean, because there, and I say that because, there is ribbed roofing, there's just flat, where they get a little oil canning, but you'd have to stick with the original flat panels as opposed to the ribs.
Can I show you, well, we've got a cut sheet of the material too, that I can screen share if you want to see what he has submitted.
Okay, Robbie submitted it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably knows. Are you doing that now, or are you gonna submit that at another time? Is that on here?
It wasn't, it was included with the original application, but it didn't get sent out, it seems.
Right, I know.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you need to stick to the profile of the height, the leg height of the roof.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have those interior ribs in the panels or anything like that. So, you may get, sir, do you know what oil canning is?
No, not the term, but I know that when I spoke with Robbie, we actually matched both the profile and everything with what he has within the guidelines, because I was actually hoping to get that approved and worked on before this meeting. So I'm nearly positive we matched everything within the guidelines that's specified.
Well, oil canning is just where the metal sort of has a little waviness to it. If it's perfectly flat, which is, so you may see that wave. A lot of people object to that, and that's why they came out with these smaller ribs to avoid that. But historically, you would have had it flat. And Robbie knows, if you just mention oil canning and mention me, he'll know exactly what you're talking about. But, I mean, so we'd have to specify that. We can approve that, I think, today, but we'd have to specify that it's the flat panel, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Victoria's showing that sample now, and it comes optional, Rick, like you said, so we would choose it without the option for the striations.
Yeah, striations is a word I was looking for, so thank you. Yeah, so I think that top one, I don't think it has any. So yeah, if you avoid the striations in the panels and get the same height leg, and also if we can avoid putting that big heavy ridge vent on it, the ridge cap,
Okay.
that would help also. But Robbie knows what to do anyway. Yeah, there it is. That profile right there that you have, that drawing, that's fine. What's the height of that leg? 1 inch.
1 inch.
Yeah. So that profile right there is fine. Doesn't have a name, I guess.
Yeah, it says
101.
It says 1 inch. It's not a lot.
Yeah. So I think that would be fine. Okay. And now there may be an issue with the attic. I don't know if there's any ventilation up there now or not, and you may have to put a ridge cap up there, a vent. In which case you should try to keep a very low profile as possible, to match the historic character of what's there now. So we don't object to that if you have to have one. Just, there are different heights you can put in there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll make a motion that it be approved as submitted with those clarifications of the roof.
For that's in all of the items on the COA?
Well, I mean, yes, but of course, it's still open for discussion.
Sure. There's a motion on the table. Anyone like to second?
I'll second.
Great. We'll open for discussion if anyone has any questions regarding the items on the COA. Hearing none, we can call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Chairman McSwain, this is Emmett Lipsey. I'm going to abstain on this one in that it's Mr. Richardson's architect is a member of my firm.
Understood. Thank you. I will vote aye as well. We probably, Victoria, on the next one, we'll do a roll call so there's no confusion for you, but I think everyone has answered.
Showing this cat as usual. That cat's terribly.
Excellent. It looks like, well, I should say, were there any nays? I'll just verify that. Any nays? No, then we're good. Thank you very much for this. We look forward to seeing the work on the house. It's a great little property there.
Oh, good, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right,
Appreciate
thank you
you
so
guys.
much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a great holiday. Next up is 510 5th Street.
Howard Covey, City of Lynchburg, Parks and Recreation, 301 Grove Street, 24501.
Great to have you here, sir. Please go ahead and give us a little rundown of your COA here.
Well, basically what we're trying to accomplish right now is creating an ADA entrance and access into the park off of Clay Street, where the existing little steps are now. That would involve just expanding that walk into the park, and then replacing the existing sign there, which is showing some age and dating, with something a little more current, that reflects our current branding. From what I can tell, there's no real major changes to any of it, and none of it should affect the appearance of the park from 5th Street or Clay Street.
Excellent. Commissioners, anyone like to make a motion or have questions right off the bat?
Well, I assume it's something that has to be done, so I will move that it be approved.
Is there a second?
A second.
Any further questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, we'll call for a roll call.
Commissioner Erguiaga,
Aye.
Commissioner Horner, you can,
Aye.
Commissioner Lipsey,
Aye.
Commissioner Langseth,
Aye.
Commissioner McSwain,
Aye.
Commissioner Morris,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer Hester.
Aye.
Excellent. All right, Mr. Kelly, thank you so much for bringing this to us today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You guys have a great holiday.
You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Next up is 1011 Harrison Street.
Hello.
Hello there. If you would, just for the record, if you would state your name and address, and then you can proceed to give us a little rundown of the items on your certificate of appropriateness.
Yes, so my name is Devar Lacroix. I live in 1011 Harrison Street, and we're seeking approval for the renovation and a little bit of changes on our back porch. That is, when we bought the house, there was evidence that there were some rot in some locations that can be considered dangerous by everybody we've been telling, and you can see it on that picture in the that was there. There's some sinking, and so our project is to basically fix everything that is rotten and remove the stairs that are present because it is our belief that those are not original. We also want to replace the foundation of the first floor deck there because it is same thing. There's some structural issues. There's been some settling, and we also want to make it look more appropriate to the house. We have a brick foundation. Those are, and this porch does not currently have a brick foundation. So we want to have something like that is similar. And we would also like to remove the railing to have a more direct access to the garden from our kitchen currently. We also want to put in a different light fixture. Currently we have a light fixture that is against the wall, and we would like to replace it by a pendant that is similar to the one that we have on our front porch, as you can see currently on that picture there. I don't think this is everything. Don't think I forgot anything. Yes, no, on the porch of the second floor, so obviously we wouldn't have the stairs anymore there, and we would also be replacing the current flooring that is up there, which is large deck boards with more historically appropriate tongue and roof, the same style as what we have on the front porch. I think I covered everything.
Sorry about that, I was muted. Is the decking on the lower deck to match the what would be above?
So no, on the lower deck we would be doing a poured slab of concrete on top of which we would add brick pavers to match.
That's right.
And where is the new foundation going? Is that just where the porch is?
Yeah. So right now, those are cement bricks there. I mean, not aware of the technical term, but there's cement pieces there that don't really go into the ground. Like we had a groundhog that was able to dig under there, and we just want to pour a slab of concrete there and add some brick pavers to really look as original as possible.
Yeah, just in the porch. So yeah, the only thing that I would that I see that may be an issue for you, which really doesn't affect us, is that if you're more than 2.5 feet from your porch to your grade, you require a rail. This is a code issue.
Yeah, and we talked about that from with our contractor, and he said that we wouldn't need it. We're under that requirement.
It's close there. All right. Yeah, that's the only thing I would see. Other than that, you're not removing any of the second floor railings, or you're not removing the columns or anything like that, correct?
Correct. We're just removing the stairs that are there, and renovating where it needs to be done.
Okay. Yeah. I move that we approve the application as submitted.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, we call for a vote. All those in favor? Victoria?
Commissioner Arguiaga?
Aye.
Victoria, you're muted.
Commissioner Arguiaga?
Aye.
Commissioner Horner?
Aye.
Commissioner Lifsey?
Aye.
Commissioner Langseth?
Aye.
Commissioner McSwain?
Aye.
Commissioner Morris?
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer Hester?
Aye.
Great. Excellent. So we thank you for this, Mr. and Mrs. LeBron, and we appreciate your work on this house. I think you'll very much enjoy having that back renovated.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. Happy holidays to you.
Thank you, and you too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. Okay, folks, next up we have 415 13th Street.
I've made it in.
Oh, there you are.
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome.
Thanks.
I think we all know you, but just for the record, if you would add your name and address, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Victoria Bartholomew. I'm at 1302 Madison Street, Lynchburg, Virginia, 24504.
Perfect. And you can go ahead and just let us know. We'll run through the items on this COA.
Yeah, sure. So I realize that the summary on the agenda is a little bit off base. It's not completely right, but I'll just clarify essentially what we're doing. So the house at 415 13th Street, like basically all of these houses that were built on at the time, seems to have had a one-story addition on the back of the house at some point many moons ago. And what we are proposing to do is to add a second story onto that one-story addition. Currently, the house is very, very small and makes it very difficult, honestly, for a modern person to live in it. The last person who lived in it was an elderly lady who lived there for many, many years by herself. Beyond that, I can't see anybody really living there the way it is right now. It's really one bedroom with a tiny room upstairs right now, and there's only space for a bathroom on the first floor, which is not really how we live now. So what we are suggesting essentially, or proposing more or less, is essentially adding on a second floor addition to that first floor addition to make it a more cohesive appearance on the outside, and then it make it more livable for modern day on the inside. For those of you who haven't gone and seen this house in person, you would not know it was there unless you knew it was there. You have to walk down a little dead-end street. You cannot really see the back of the house until you are on it. The house at 1220 Clay Street sits very close on the left, so the complete rear of the house, when you're standing on Clay Street or 13th Street, is more or less obscured unless you are standing in front or to the right side of the house. So I think that kind of explains it. The only other change we wanted to make is in the current room that is a bathroom in the house, which clearly with the age of this house was not an original bathroom. I think it was a porch, and then it was semi-converted into living space. There are two not original windows. They're older windows for sure, but they're not cohesive with the rest of the home. And what we'll be doing with that space, probably turning it into a half bath or a pantry space. I think a bigger window will not only be more cohesive with the exterior look of the house, but will also just serve the interior in a better way. Those are those two little windows in the back right there. And you can kind of see where the siding is split there. You can kind of get an idea how it was added on to over time. And that's my little summary.
Thank you very much for that, commissioners.
Well, the roof, I think it looks fine overall. You're not exceeding the ridge of the original roof.
Correct.
So you're really, from the front, you don't really see anything except that little side piece that goes up 2 stories. So
Does it get new roof on the front of the original?
Yeah, so the roof that's there right now, what had happened previously, the house is or currently condemned. There was a serious fire in the house in the back. So the roof is essentially not salvageable. I really wish it was. We like to save metal roofs. It's currently tarped because it was leaking so badly inside. So yeah, we're going to be replacing it with another metal seam roof.
And what about the porch roof?
Yeah, so it certainly would be my preference to replace that with the same, as I think that would be more cohesive with the original integrity of the house. I don't think that obviously was originally slate, which is usually what asphalt shingle replaces.
All right, I don't know can the guests hear what we just discussed in this last one where I was talking about?
No, I couldn't. I was in the waiting room.
All right, well, basically, you're putting a metal seam roof on this?
Yes.
So it can't have striations in the panels.
Okay.
It has to be flat.
Right, not like an agricultural roof. It's a classic standing seam roof.
Right, but the standing seam roofs, they either come flat panels or they come with little striations so that you don't get the oil can. But the traditional roofs would have just a flat panel. Now, and then the legs of the seams should only be about 1 inch. And you also should have a low profile ridge cap on these roofs. Is it possible, Victoria, to not Bartholomew, the other Victoria, I'm not sure, we have the profile that we just approved in the previous one. So if she has the same metal profile.
Yes, we absolutely can. You can say that you approve this with the conditions of 1 inch, low profile ridge cap, no striations, etc.
Okay. Who's your roofer, Victoria?
We haven't set that up yet.
Okay. All right.
This is our first step.
And what's the siding going to be on the addition?
It's wood, just like the rest of the house. Just regular fiber.
Okay.
She's got everything right?
Yeah. I move that it be approved as submitted with the stipulation that the roof match the criteria of what we just approved on, what address was that?
415 Harrison Street.
11?
Apollo 11, I think.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah,
what's-
1011 Harrison Street.
1501 Church Street.
1011.
Church Street.
Yeah, I think it was Church Street.
Yeah.
No, Church Street.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, no, if, I'm Victoria, I'm sure you're gonna send that over, but if you would just send over that image, obviously we're all on the same page, that would be great, but I don't foresee any issue with that.
Yeah, sure thing. I'll send you the materials.
Yeah, cool.
All right, so we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, we can call for a vote. Victoria?
Commissioner Irquiagua?
Aye.
Commissioner Horner?
Aye.
Commissioner Lifsey?
Aye.
Commissioner Langseth?
Aye.
Commissioner McSwain?
Aye.
Commissioner Morris?
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer Hester?
Aye.
Excellent. Ms. Bartholomew, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, I have one last question for you all, and it might be a question for Victoria. We obviously want to pull building permits relatively soon for this. When will they get a copy of the COA? Because they won't issue a building permit without.
I'm going to send all the COAs tonight.
Awesome, perfect, cool, great. Well, thank you so much, you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays.
All right, next up we have 122 Harrison Street.
Oh, that's me. I obviously have to recuse myself from the voting. However, if it's okay with the commissioners, I would like to present it because there is no one else that actually can present it since I'm the one working on it. So.
Sounds good. In keeping with the standard rules, just go ahead and state your name and address since you're representing the property.
Richard Morris, and my address?
Yes, please.
My address is 205 F Street.
Right.
Okay. So, what we're planning, of course, this is, we came in for previous approval for the demolition so that we could see what exactly was, if we could find some ghosts of what might have existed on this front porch originally, since we knew that the brick on the porch that we just tore down was not original to the house. So if you could go to the pictures actually that I have. Okay, a little crooked, little boy. Okay, that right there is good. You see the upper right? That's one of the original columns. So once we removed the columns, they were totally shot. If you keep looking at pictures, if you keep scrolling down, you'll see a bunch of. There's the base. You can see the top where it's just collapsing at the top of the. I think that's the bottom. That's the base. Yeah. You can see in this lower left. That's the column that we thought was actually going to be salvageable, but you could literally put your hand right in there and rip that thing right out. It was completely rotted out on the inside, both from water and termites. There's another one in here that actually, there's another picture that actually shows the termite damage on these columns. Yeah. It might have been that one. Keep going. How many more pictures do we have here? Oh, you can see. Okay, so those two on the left. You can I point with this thing? Sure.
They can't see it though.
Oh, you can't see it. Well, the upper left, you can see those lines, those horizontal lines. That is, yeah, right there. That's all termite damage in there, and the columns were full of that. So, with that in mind, and obviously the one at the bottom right, you can see the condition of these things. We think we may have actually found the company that made these columns back in beginning of the 1900s, and they're out of
Somerset Column and Door Company, Somerset, Pennsylvania.
Somerset, Pennsylvania. That's what I was looking for. So they're going to actually duplicate what we have. I took detailed pictures of these. I've sent them samples of the bases, the capitals. The capitals, by the way, are made out of some sort of a resin, cementitious material. As soon as we started taking those off, they just all fell apart. They just crumbled. So, and I think we've got pictures of those in here somewhere if you want to flip around. So they're going to reproduce everything. I've even sent them samples of the capitals so that once these columns are ready to go, they'll have, they'll duplicate these. And we can certainly, once we get the shop drawings for these columns, we can certainly resubmit those for approval. They'll be the last things going up before, because we have to get the whole porch rebuilt anyway. So if the commission would like that, we would submit the shop drawings for the columns, showing the befores and the afters. So that's so much for the columns. Anybody have questions on the columns?
Are they remaking them out of wood?
Yes, they're the sapele wood, which is a wood that does not rot. I think it's an African wood, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's African, but it's a wood that I use a lot. I use it for sills, window sills and things like that. It's actually the wood that I would prefer to be used on these because they are rot resistant. I'm not going to say they won't rot, but they're rot resistant.
What about the capitals? What will those? What material?
I'm not sure. They're looking at these, and I'm not sure if they're going to carve those or they're going to cast them. So when the capitals, again, I'm not sure of that. But when the reason I'm not sure is because I just sent them all the information as to how they would do the capitals. But I'll submit all that once we have the shop drawings.
I know a little bit of history on this particular company.
Go ahead.
I talked to the owner.
This is the owner, though.
Yeah.
Janine.
I talked to the company for a good hour, and this company has done a lot of columns in Washington for historical properties in Washington, D.C. And its founder was actually, we thought that it could have even been a possible match to the house. Of course, it wasn't, but Somerset was started between 1906. So it's still the age of the house, this company. They do everything original. And when I asked about the Corinthian, they can, now the original was actually a horsehair plaster. So, but what they do now is they can pretty much match anything that's there. So I'm not sure of the material, but I know that he said they have an example. In fact, he looked at a picture of the house online, and he said they can match pretty much everything that's there. So that they do everything historical.
So as far as the porch goes, if you could flip down some pictures until I can see the one that I need. Keep going. It is. Don't keep going. Keep going. Keep going. We're looking for something with dirt. A dirt picture. We don't have any. Maybe.
That one on the upper right.
Yeah, they're on the. Keep going. There it is.
Okay. This one. All right. If you look at the bottom right, you can see a concrete footing. That concrete footing is new. That's what we had to pour for the steel to hold up the roof. But and that butts right up to the existing wall that we tore down. You can see that in brick. And if you notice, right behind that, or in front of it, whatever you want to call it, there's the blue tarp. That blue tarp is on top of, and you can see the same thing up in the upper left. That tarp is the remnants of the original wall that the porch was built with. So what we discovered when we took the old porch out is that there was always a porch there. And we know that because the brick that was in the, below the porch deck, if that was ever exposed, it would have been finished brick like the facade of the house. And it is not. It is the brick that was commonly used for foundations or fireplaces or any place that wouldn't be seen. So we knew that there was always a porch there. However, with the discovery of this wall, we realized that what had happened is they expanded the original porch by about 2 or 2.5 feet. I can't remember exactly what it was. And that is why the porch brick changed, because they wanted to expand the porch and bring it out further toward the street to get a wider porch. Miss Sabatka, the owner, wants to bring it back to the original porch wall, which is where the tarp is, which is about 2 feet, 2.5 feet less than what it is there for a number of reasons. Number one, it's the original wall. Number two, she is never going to use the front porches. She may have a bench or something out there, but very limited amount of use. The third reason is that she would like to get more grass or more greenery in the front of the house, because as people went by this house, there's very, very little with a limited front yard. So we basically want to bring the wall back to where it was. So if you go back to the design now, the architectural drawings, you can see, okay, the one on the, the one on the bottom left is that's the front facade, and you can see, so that wall would be set back 2 feet. Well, actually, there's a drawing of a plan somewhere in here. Yes, that one. All right, so does that move over? Can you move that to the right a little bit to see more of that left side, the existing side? Is that, I guess it doesn't move, does it there? Well, you can see on the left where it says existing, you can see the line that goes a little bit behind the column. That's the original line. And that one right there, that's the original. And so you can see the difference, and that just went straight back. So you can see, so we followed that line, and then we took it back and curved it back to the original, where the original wall would be. And then tried to tie the whole thing together with a curved stair, but not continuing the stair. If you can see where they had the stair on the left, it went all the way over to the new wall, which never made any sense, because if you walk up those stairs, you can't get on the porch. There's a rail there, and you walk into the column. So they never made any sense to have them that way to begin with. And since we're changing back to the original wall, we wanted to create a new design for the stairs that wasn't as dramatic. Well, it's probably as dramatic, just not the same configuration, because it just makes no sense to do that. So that was and what we want to do for the balustrade, which you see there you can see that on the elevations, and there's also so the balustrades they're either going to be stone or a composite like stone or wood. And we're pricing that up now, and but I like to get this concept approved, and then we come back with the actual, again, the shop drawings of what they will actually be and the material. The band that you see on the porch, right below the rail, that band, if you go back to the front facade of that, well, I don't show it. I forgot to put it on there, but there's actually that band that you see at the top of the porch there is the exact band that follows around the house. And I forgot to show that on the house, but actually that's the same thing. It's just going to come around and tie into the porch and down the stairs. The stair rail will probably be nothing more than a simple wrought iron rail coming up the side of that curve, and that will tie into the column. And that's it.
It's good. Good work. Commissioners?
I guess I'm a little confused if we're only approving concept but not materials.
The material, okay, then if you want, well, the wood, the columns are going to be wood, and the balustrade will be stone. If it changes, we'll come back and change that.
Okay.
And also, if it's something the commissioners...
The reason I'd say that is because we still have to do, unless you don't want to see the shop drawings, but I mean, I think that once we get the shop drawings from the actual manufacturer, we'll come back again for that. But of course, I'm not going to do shop drawings if this doesn't get approved. So that was the reason for the to get it approved with, the conceptual drawings. Because we have to do the conceptual before we can do the shop drawings.
Okay.
Well, if you feel that the balustrades are going to stay to the same dimensions, the commissioners have the opportunity to approve with conditions. If they feel comfortable approving with the conditions of all 3 material types, that's something that they could do.
Yeah, the dimensions won't change.
Anyone would like to make a motion?
I'll move approval of the application.
I'll second.
Any further questions or comments, concerns?
I have a question about the back, but that's not part of this. Do we know when, or have you made any progress on the plans on what you're going to do in the back?
Yeah, we rebuilt the 2 chimneys have been totally rebuilt. The dormers have been all repaired and painted. The soffit under the dormers, which is the back side of the roof, which you can't really see because that addition that we're taking down covers it, but all that soffit and all the dental work and all that's been all repaired and painted. So once we take the addition down, everything above, from fascia upward is done. And what we're doing now is we're working on the interior windows that will be exposed on the 2nd floor where the addition is coming down, but we're repairing those windows on the inside, brick wise, when they were broken up and they were made to doors and all the windows are missing. So we're replacing all the keystones and repairing all the brickwork, and we're doing that while we still have the addition because obviously it's easy to do. So right now we're working on that interior, which you don't really see, but that's the next step. And once that's done, we have to get environmental impact on the asbestos/lead on the addition before we can get a building demolition permit on that. So that's all the things we're working on right now on the back.
Great progress, thanks.
Yep.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Victoria?
Commissioner Igualaga?
Aye.
Commissioner Horner?
Aye.
Commissioner Lifsey?
Aye.
Commissioner Langseth?
Aye.
Commissioner McSwain?
Aye.
And Commissioner Spencer Hester?
Aye.
Excellent. Commissioner Morris and Ms. Sabaka, thank you so much for your help today on this.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, folks, we can roll on to the next item, which is 608 Washington Street.
All right. Yeah.
I think I saw Mr. Gabby on board with us.
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. Welcome back, sir.
Yep. After our last discussion, I went back to my contractor and he would have something similar to this. It'd be a cap that's all metal and it'd be no taller than 8 inches off the chimney top.
Looks fine to me.
And is that a black metal prefix?
Yes.
Which house is this again?
Victoria, would you remind us the location?
608
Washington Street.
Now, what is this picture of?
That was my original request.
It's up there. The request, we didn't know which one it was, so he's come back with the lower profile.
Okay.
Noted.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd move to approve as submitted.
I'll second.
Do you know what the thickness, where that hand is, what that thickness is going to be right there? I'm assuming it's not going to be as thick as that.
No. I don't know.
Okay.
That where his hand is in that photograph, that would be the part that skirts around
Right.
the top of the chimney, and then the mesh part with the roof on it is the part that comes above. I take it.
Exactly, and if you see the width of his fingers there, that's above the width of the one you showed with had the copper on it, which would be more appropriate than that. Hopefully, it's not that big, thick, piece right there.
Right.
Yeah, I'm assuming 3 or 4 inches would be the
Okay.
most would be.
Yeah, if it's within that 4-inch framework, I think we'd be good with that.
Okay.
If it's anything more, I don't know, what would we do? I have to come back to that. I think that's fine.
I think it's being custom made, so I can just tell.
Because this particular one isn't for you, is it?
No.
Okay.
Similar in design, though.
Right.
So we'll go with this one.
So we got a motion.
Yep, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, we can call for a vote.
Commissioner Urquiaga,
Aye.
Commissioner Horner,
Aye.
Commissioner Lifsey,
Aye.
Commissioner Langseth,
Aye.
Commissioner McSwain,
Aye.
Commissioner Morris,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer Hester.
Aye.
All right, Mr. Gabby, thank you so much for this, providing us the design, and best of luck getting that issue taken care of. I know you don't want any more water coming in where it's not supposed to be.
That's right. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
2.
Bye.
Okay, it looks like that wraps up our agenda. Let me see if we have any. Oh, no. No, that was the old business. We took care of that. Any other announcements that need to be made, Victoria?
Well, I would like to formally introduce Tracy Langseth as your new commissioner. This is her first meeting.
Welcome.
Excellent. Very glad to have you aboard.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Excellent.
Let's see, and on that note, every time we have somebody new come, and any other time too, if you all want to discuss it, if anybody wants to change their advocate district or switch it or whatever, we can certainly do that. Tracy has said that she's fine with Courthouse Hill, but if anybody wanted that or something different, we're totally welcome to switching it up. Is there any interest in doing so?
I think I'm good. Anyone else have any urging, burning desire to change their area?
All right. Well, and then one last thing. I meant to introduce him in the beginning, but our intern has been with us today.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome.
Yeah, my name's Tyler. I'm interning with Community Development. I've been here for about a month, so.
Outstanding. From what school?
I just graduated recently from Christopher Newport University in Newport News. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Very good to have you with us.
Wonderful to meet you guys.
Thank you.
All right, folks. I guess our next.
One quick, Chris.
Say, Chris. 18th. Is that right?
Next meeting will be on January 25th.
25th. Okay. Oh yes, you're right. And I believe I heard Emmett holler out.
Yeah, Chris, could you give us an update on the city council hearing for 2144?
Yes, regarding the fence.
Yes, please, and any progress on the parking area?
I do not have. Well, we'll tackle that one first. I have no information whatsoever on the parking area. Might have to leave that up to city staff to provide an update on that. I know that it is being used almost on a daily basis, as I see when I drive by.
Yes.
As far as the fence goes, I went and presented our position and the way that we voted on it to city council. Council had a good bit of discussion about it, called us both back up for clarification on council's part, or on the commission's part, as well as further updates and more information from
Mr. Donovan, and ultimately they wound up deciding that the fence would be okay based on the information that he showed them at the meeting. An aluminum, black aluminum fence at
Yeah, Chris,
like was a 5 foot height, I guess.
5.5.
5.5 foot height.
So according to
all the
city
way
code,
around.
according to city code, he has to do 4 foot in the front. It's 6 in the back. And I do want to remind everybody that we're still in a meeting.
Correct, and that was yes. That was they approved to overturn our ruling. However, apparently right after their overruling of it, was it zoning? Is it zoning that got involved and said that that's too high?
Yes, he has to build a fence to the zoning ordinance. And regarding the parking, the applicant has 1 year to start work on the COA.
Really?
1 year.
He has what? 1 year to do what?
12 months from the approval of the COA to start work, and 2 years from the approval of the COA to finish it.
So what's going on with the driveway then?
That's what she was referring to. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you're saying, Victoria, that it could be continued to be used as it sits right now for 12 more months before the demolition starts?
But he has to demolish it?
Yes, work has to start within 12 months, otherwise it's a zoning violation.
So the council approved, I mean, they went along with us on that one?
That did not go to city council. That's just I was addressing your question from earlier.
That was not an
Just
issue.
a COA.
Correct. That was not an issue.
It was only the fence.
Oh. So he is gonna take the driveway out? How'd they come up with 12 months?
That's part of our guidelines. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
It is? Okay. Wow. Well, that's good. That's a bigger issue, I think, than the fence.
Yeah.
So he's not appealing that one? Okay, good.
Wow. Still 12 months is, well, it's gotta come out. So well, can't change that.
All right, well, Tracy, welcome again to your first HPC meeting. And everybody, I hope you have a happy holidays, happy new year, and everyone stay safe and warm.
Yes.
You too, Victoria.
Same.
Thank you for all your help this year.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Happy holidays to your cat.
Probably. He'll be back.
Sure.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.